Hey guys, this is going to be a fun video. Okay, I have an entire beauty portfolio here, and before you roll your eyes and you're like, this is going to be something cheap that she's just going to try to make work, I really think this is going to be good. I have very high hopes for this. This is from Profusion. Profusion is a brand that's now sold in my local Walmart store, probably in a lot of others. And they have something called the Artistry Attire Beauty Portfolio. And this was wrapped around the thing originally. I ordered it off of Profusion's website. It's less than 25 bucks, just under 25, and you're getting a lot in here, and it looks like some pretty promising stuff, okay? So I know they put out something like this around the holidays, but they say this is a new and updated one, and so you got all these eyeshadows over here on the other side, which I've kept the film on that. And then look at this face stuff. We've got correctors, we've got these cake liners that you can add water to that are across this row. Then we've got highlighters, contours, and a bunch of blushes, and I'm like super excited about this face panel. You know I'm going to be using this whole thing, and we're going to see how it goes today. Currently all over my face, I've put on all my skincare, my sunscreen, and then this is my base today. This is the Juvia's Place I Am Magic, which I wear in the shade Capri. I was going to wear this from Profusion that I have, which is the Feel Good Skin, which I like. This shade was just going to be too light on me today. But yeah, I have no concealer on right now, and I thought let's maybe head over to the correctors and see what we're working with. I'm feeling like kind of a thin consistency here, not thick and dry at all. It feels kind of thin and creamy as I put my finger into that peach corrector, and I'm thinking I could use a lot of that kind of all over my face as concealer. And then I'm going to take my little e.l.f. Duo Complexion brush and work that in a bit. See what we get here. I feel like she's adding a little coverage and brightness. The I Am Magic stuff really goes there with the coverage, so it took care of a lot, I will say. There's kind of a yellowish, a light yellowish tone here that they call apricot. I wonder what that would be like a little bit on my under eye too. Again, these feel really creamy. To really get in tune with how good those are and what they're able to do, you might want to use them without any foundation on first, just to see kind of how they patch across the skin and correct some areas. But I can see a little brightening, and then I can just take, like this is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop. I'm just going to use a little bit of that over top. I just found it interesting, like I was looking at the Profusion website, and this showed up as like a newly created palette of this kind, which typically, you know, from a brand like Profusion or really any brand sold in Walmart, you start seeing a palette like this, you're thinking holidays, right? But the fact that they kind of are creating this to be a regular line item, I thought that was kind of neat. All right, so I've got that all in, and there's really not like a pressed powder in this in terms of something you'd use all over your face. So I'm gonna grab one that I have handy here. This is my Laura Mercier. This is the Translucent Loose Setting Powder, the Ultra Blur. I really like this powder. And my skin is pretty juicy from the Juvia's Place, so I do need to set a little bit. Okay, and then I'm just going to dust away a little excess there. Nice and smooth, still feeling pretty tacky elsewhere on the skin, so I may set elsewhere with a bit of powder also. I'm pulling in my Huda Glowish. I love this Luminous Pressed powder. It gives a really pretty finish on top of the skin. It keeps kind of a glowiness, but yet you're set because it's powder. Recently talked about this as one of the most underrated products at Sephora. Like the finish is just gorgeous. It's as though you veiled yourself in an hourglass powder, but it had coverage, you know? I like it. Hi, Bisky. We are ready to really dive into some of these face steps. I'm so excited. We've got all these sculpting shades, and they seem pretty dark. I'm gonna go into the light sculpt here, and let's just see what this delivers. Oh, okay. It's, yeah, very dark. Very pigmented. I feel like texture-wise with these powders, I was sort of swatching some of these blushes, and I feel like we're getting the same textures that we know and love from like existing Profusion palettes, because they felt really soft and really pigmented. It's just a heck of a lot of makeup for 25 bucks. And you know me, I'm willing to give everything a shot, you know, even if it looks like something that's like, ooh, are you really gonna buy that full face palette from Walmart, Em? Like, I will try it because this brand is capable of really good things. I've used Light Sculpt now across the forehead. It looked like it went on pretty heavily at first, but it was able to blend. I want to try a little bit of Medium Sculpt because it's got some more warmth. Light Sculpt and Medium Sculpt are like cool and warm takes on the lighter end of the spectrum, and then Tan and Deep are like those two shades just deepened up. Ooh, I really like that medium. Seems to be working in well. Okay, I'm kind of dabbing now between both, and we'll get a little contour going. I think it would have been cool if maybe, you know, they could do a couple of those color correctors up top, but then if they just did like a range of creams, skin tone, light to dark. I feel like the way people like cream contouring these days, it would be neat to have, first off, allow a range of skin tones to have a legitimate concealer, but then I feel like everybody's kind of liking to sort of go outside their range for a contour or a highlight. Might have been just nice to have a row of creams. These light and medium shades are just a super effective contour for me. Really pleased with this, and I haven't even touched the deepest ones, and I don't think I'll really need to right now. Okay, really pleased with that bronzing and contouring experience, and now we have this beautiful selection of blushes down here. Gosh, where do I want to begin? We have two that have shimmer, and the rest of these are matte. Let's start out with some of this one called Daydreaming. It appears to be soft, so let's see how she shows. Okay, I'm seeing that. Very buildable, smooth. Seems like the same kind of texture I'm used to seeing out of Profusion in their other palettes. This really looks like the size, if not larger, a little bit compared to their individually sold like $5 blush palettes. Okay, that's beautiful. Beautiful. What if we pop on a little bit of Vulnerable down here? Honestly, it's pretty purpley. Ooh, that's pretty. I like that. It brings not so much pure purple, but actually like a little bit of a berry twist to things. This shade right down here. Pigmented though. Very pigmented. Okay, so we've got this cool kind of pinky berry cheek, and we have a bunch of beautiful highlighters up here. Oh, they're so smooth and soft. This Enchanted one seems kind of like a blush topper. Bittersweet right here. That looks absolutely dynamite. I'm gonna go into that one. Oh my goodness. And none of these highlights are chunky at all. Just thin, smooth. I'm thinking this thing is worth the price for the face products alone. That panel in itself is doing amazing. That just looks like a dewy finish on the skin. No big flakes at all. Rethink everything you know about big full face palettes sold at Walmart. That's all I can say. Wow. So we've pretty much tackled every row except for these ones that say add water. Can you see they have the little droplets and they say add water? I haven't touched those yet. But corrector row, I say I think it'll be something to continue to experiment with. It'll be something to definitely test when there's not a lot of coverage already on the skin, just to see how much they do. I might have preferred to have a couple of corrector shades, but then a row of just skin tone gradient creams. Absolutely love the highlighter row. The sculpting row seemed great because these shades worked really well for me, and then these go even deeper, so deeper skin tones. I think everybody has something there. And then a great fun range of blushes too. So then what we have left is this whole eyeshadow panel. So I'm going to go ahead and do my brows, and then we'll tackle the eyes. Alrighty friends, my brows are done, and I just put my other sheet, which there's kind of like a little adhesive here and here that comes on and off sort of easily, and that's probably the one downside here, is that there's not maybe just a full-on panel that could lift up and stay between these two sides, because we don't want fallout from shadow, falling into all these nice face products. So keeping track of the sheets is kind of a con, but yet for the price tag, I would have to say it's still a really good deal. But let's see how these shadows do. I want to see them perform and be the same texture as what I already know and love from Profusion. It seems like the color scheme overall is a little bit on the cool side. We've got a bunch of plum, we've got some navy, we've got a lot of cool gray down here at the bottom. 2 glittery shades are in here as well. We've got some pinks. I'm first going to go over to this shade called Habit. I'm going to pick it up with my Profusion crease brush. I like that they gave the shades a name because in giant palettes like this, you know, if anybody's trying to follow along at home, it's much easier to know what I'm using. So this seems nice and soft. I have so enjoyed like the little $5 Profusion palettes. As we know, there's the mattes, there's the smoky one. They have all those different little color families, and I think those have just been phenomenal and an amazing value. So there we are with that shade. I want to deepen it up just a little bit. I'm going to go to Sassy right here. Staying with the browns for a minute, just seeing how well they develop a nice natural crease. This looks good, nice and smooth. When I put my brush into these shades, I'm not kicking up a lot of excess, just maybe a small amount of kick up. And I am using this as a Profusion, I call it the Profusion crease brush. It's the ES2. I use it almost every day, so definitely look into the brushes. Also, if you don't find the full selection in your Walmart, you can look on Profusion's site too. Okay, got a really nice crease situation going. I want to blend up above it just to kind of smooth out a bit more. I'm going to use Baby Doll right here. I think there's a hint of peach in that, and just let that really make it seamless. Now, what do we want to do to maybe deepen up the crease just a little bit? I'm going to go down here to Bridesmaid, this pink, and it seems to be kind of like a satin finish pink. And add a little color to things with that. Nice. I'm seeing it. Possible downside here could be if you're seeing all these shades and thinking those are not my colors. You know, if you prefer more warmth. I think they may have done, and I'm not sure if it's still available. I think the first version of one of these palettes may have been warmer. Oh, they have one that's marked down on their website that's this same design, like same layout. But it's got a bunch of bright colors in it. It's been marked down to $10. But this is the current Artistry palette offering. It's 48 eyeshadows. I mean, it's so much. Still blending in a little bit of Bridesmaid there. I like how it gave me a little bit of rosiness alongside all that. And then let's take a little bit of this shade called Cardigan right here. Seeing some beautiful like berry plumminess. Somebody will say, oh, there she goes again with berry. Well, we're testing a new palette. That's beautiful. So far, 0 complaints on these shadows. And really, there's a lot of basic neutral in this one. Top couple of rows, extremely basic. A ton of cool grayish basics here, and then also sprinkled throughout. But it does have its kind of purpley, cool leanings. Oh, that's pretty. I'm gonna need just a bare brush to handle a little blending here. Super pleased with the way those shades are layering up and blending out. I want to get some darkness going on the lid. I really want to check out this color called Rumors right here. It's a matte. Seems just like a super rich plum and incredibly pigmented. 100% what you see is what you get. And I'm not... okay, I'm maybe getting a few little fallout flakes, but I can dust those away. That shade is rich, friends. Wow, love that. Working that over about half the lid. Rumors. So good. I would love to see a video where like a pro makeup artist, maybe David, gets his hand, but David's already like just very open to trying all price ranges and working with all kinds of things. But nonetheless, it would just be fun to see a professional makeup artist bust this stuff out and actually see how good it is. Okay, so we've worked that shade into the outer lid, up into the crease. Gonna take my little Profusion small pointed brush and kind of work that around like we do. You know, we've got some extra darkness there, and this kind of makes sense of what came and touched the crease. Might go in for just a little more and just really Work it in to the crease and up. I know Profusion sells an eye primer too. I just used Milani. I don't know if I even said that after I did my brows. I don't know. Gosh, are we going back-to-back days on sultry for the summer here? This one down here, Perfect Stranger. Anybody remember that sitcom, Perfect Strangers? It's a pure black, and we're just seeing if she can walk the walk, and she can. So I'm just like going even further with it and putting pure black in the outer corner. Are you really testing a palette if you don't try on the black? Oh, the last Ted Lasso was last night. I won't say anything. I'm just sad that it's over. Okay, again, with this little guy, our little buffing friend. It's really turned into a bit of a buffer for us. I just love the way things are kind of smoking out, radiating out from the lid crease area. So much intensity and darkness from these shadows. Then what for the lid? Gosh, there are some really interesting looking shades here I want to point out. This one called Intuition. Oh my gosh. Look at that glaziness. It looks like taupe, but it also has so much reflectivity. Almost maybe just a hint of bluishness in there. Potion, that's gorgeous. That one called No Clue looks really pretty. Deja Vu. There are some really pretty colors in here. Oh, that Deja Vu shade. I wonder how that layers up because it looks pretty on my finger, but I wonder how sheer it would actually be. Oh my gosh. So this is the one called Deja Vu. It's that purpley looking one. Okay. Okay. Really smooth. Like, what texture is that even? It's just like an incredibly smooth sheen. Almost felt creamy in the swatch. Oh, she can handle it. Friends, this is nice. I got a little fallout to dust away. Just a tiny bit though, really. I love the smoothness of that purple. And it's like, is it a cream? No, it is a powder, but it's so smooth. Like that's kind of a new feeling texture where some of these shimmers in here feel so smooth and thin, but yet they're pigmented. And they almost feel like a cream, but they're not. They're not a cream. Really pleased with that. And then maybe we come back up here to this color called Daylight, way up in the corner. And we give ourselves a little brightness. I don't know if it's showing. Sometimes it's hard to know if that's really hitting the light because it's kind of deep in there, but I can see it from where I sit. Okay, then I say we go under the eye. And Profusion eye brushes, guys. I've used 3 in this look. I use the ES2, the ES3, which is just kind of, I use that for blending purposes, and also my ES6, which is my small pointed. Profusion, if you want to collab, if you want to make a bundle, there's your bundle. And guys at Profusion, if you could create a flat brush that's about this wide, because the one you currently make is smaller than this, and I need something like about that wide, you got an all-star set right there, baby. On the under eye, let's take a little bit of levitating. So here, I called Rumors like a plum, and Rumors really is like the color of an actual plum. I mean, if you ever look at a plum, it's not really like always super dark purple. Sometimes it's more reddish. Rumors has more red in it. Levitating is more like just a rich purple. Oh, they're just all pure pigment. Like that's almost more than I bargained for right there. I'm coming back, but I just use half the stuff over here and still have enough for both eyes. My word. And I ordered some false lashes. I know I've seen these and readily available in my Walmart store, but I just thought like, well, while I'm at it, I got a pack of those just to see. I was kind of surprised I hadn't used them before. Oh, we've got our Just Add Water liners too. My ability to just bounce around this palette at random and every shade I bop into turns out to be a success story. That's awesome. My one annoyance is that we're gonna have to replace this film. I guess you wouldn't have to, but that's a risk you're taking. And then we're gonna come back over to this other side where we've got these Add Water like cake liners. I have a Profusion double-ended brush. This will be another good thing to put in my master kit. I'm just gonna grab a little Fix Plus. I'm gonna spray it on my hand so I can get my tip of my brush wet. I'm gonna go right into the black. I'm gonna work it around just a little bit. Let's see if we picked up anything. We need to work in more. How much water do I gotta add? I'm really working it in there. I can tell it's on my brush, but it's just not like, it's not pitch black. Just not quite as dark as I'd want it to be to place false lashes on top and have them kind of disappear into the look. Maybe I gotta practice more. I mean, I'm getting some strokes here. It's just like a soft black, okay? And then there's a white, a blue, and a brown. And rubbing over them even, wow, it does seem to have a little staying power. But if you're looking for like that solid black line, I don't think those products are gonna take you there all the way. Like I feel like I might get a more solid black pigmented line by using actually this texture. Perfect Stranger right down here. Anyways, we're gonna close that puppy up. I'm going to give myself just a thin black line. I'll use my Sephora pen. These are the lashes I got. This little multi-pack here, which is the iconic 3D Faux Mink lashes. It says Big T's Fullest Wispies. All right, I'm looking like I'm probably gonna need to trim a little bit off somewhere in there. They look really long left to right, and I'm going to be using my Dollar Tree lash glue, and I'll be right back. Look at these lashes. They're gorgeous. They're like so fine and feathery and fluttery. Now, first off, they're a country mile long. I had to cut off like that much off of each lash, and I can't imagine a lot of people not needing to remove some. But that's good, you know, because they're giving you ample length left to right. So those with really large eyes definitely have enough. But the band was easy to manage, like it wasn't too flimsy. And sometimes, you know, with cheap lashes straight out of the box, I was expecting a really flimsy, hard to maneuver band, and it actually just kind of laid right on there. I used my $1.25 Dollar Tree lash glue, and I am in love with that style. They are so wispy and light and fluttery. Could not be happier with that. And then I think I'm gonna bust out a nude lip here. I grabbed my Fenty lipstick. Everybody needs to enjoy that process, yes. This is the shade Mother Lover, and it is a nude. I'm going to use a little hard candy lip liner in the shade First Move. And this is just going to define, and then I'll gloss. I love that Fenty lipstick as like a good nude base. There is a Revlon lipstick. I think the shade is called Nude Attitude. That's a pretty close dupe. Oh, hi Biscuits. She's just rolling. Oh, you want some pets? Okay, see, we're all defined. And then we're gonna gloss it up with this L'Oreal gloss. What is the shade? Blissful Blush 40. Hadn't used this in a while, thought let's pull it out. Nice. Now, what I'm thinking I will do, I'm seeing, you know, a good amount of shine has kind of settled in on the skin after the highlighter and stuff. I'm gonna take my Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless, my Morphe Under Eye Bullet Brush. This is in the shade Porcelain. And I kind of use this the way I would use a Kosas Cloud Set. And it's not like we want to undo the highlight. Like I'm still glowing, but it just perfects this area, like for all day staying power and stuff. Just go over it a little bit. Smoothing, perfecting. Another thing I might do, given the fact that I have a pretty heavy amount of eyeshadow there, on my lower lash line, I'm going to go directly under that with a little bit of this powder and just a small brush. See that? Just go right under your eyeshadow. It'll help with the all-day wear. But wow, I've got some thoughts. Iconic 3D lashes in Big T's, get those. If you like a full fluttery lash, but yet it's not stark, it's not cheap looking. Check those out. You're getting 5 pairs in a box. I think that's awesome. This puppy here. Okay, I was thinking as I was doing my lashes, this is cushioned, okay? This has some protection around it. It's got so much inside if you're traveling. Think about it. What else are you needing? Like a foundation, mascara, liner, a brow pencil, and then you've got oodles of eyeshadows, some correctors to play with. I would think of these two rows as being like play around with them rows. You know, I would still use my own concealer to get the job done on my face, but you have correctors to try. You have some of these cake liners, which I'm going to try more. Figuring out the right ratio of how much water should I add to get my desired look. Absolutely love the highlighters, love the contours, love the blushes, and you saw everything we dipped into here was a success over here on the eyeshadow side. And also I would like to say about Profusion, I did order mine through their website and it came so well packaged. This was wrapped multiple times over in bubble wrap. The entire box was padded. And yeah, the whole reason I even ran across this, I think I was just checking the availability of some of the brushes that I link to, that I use in a lot of my videos, the Profusion eye brushes. And then I see come across the front page like newly redesigned artistry palette or whatever. And I thought, I don't believe I've seen that in my Walmart store, maybe not yet, but I'm thrilled. I mean, from the blush to the highlighter to the eyeshadow to those lashes, we struck gold, I think, guys. We struck gold. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it somewhat entertaining. I hope the video was informative. So thank you for your time. I'm going to keep doing looks with this, by the way. There are so many shades in here where I just kind of swatched them today and I'm like, yeah, I need to play with that. So have a great day, everyone, and I will see you again soon. I love you. Bye.